Alright, so new moon basically means there's an eclipse, a monthly eclipse, where the earth blocks the sun's light from hitting the moon. So it appears to disappear from the sky. Come sit in your usual spot. And so astronomically that's what's happening. It happens predictably, consistently on a 28-day cycle. Astrologically, what it means, basically, blank slate in the sky, blank slate in your life. And that's good news. It's basically a chance to reset intentions. It's too loud. Reset intentions, reset the household. I always feel like it's a good time to cut your nails. I filed down my claws, and I just have normal human nails. Deep clean, in the tiles, in between the grout. Deep clean the bathroom, and then take a glorious bath. Do all those deep conditioning, face and hair things that treatments that you're always meaning to get to. Today's a good day for that. This more lights. It's a little better. Breaking on the lighting situation, obviously. And deep, meaningful self-care. That's a hot button word, but it's true. For New Year's, for what class is it? Oh, so we're doing a yoga class, 75-minute class. It's we'll start with an 8-10 minute grounding meditation with breathing exercises and intention setting, and then do about 50 minutes of movement, and then we end with a nice long 10-minute Savasana, final relaxation pose as a guided meditation. It's all levels, so don't feel like you have to have done yoga before to join. And then if you have been practicing yoga for a really long time, then you definitely know how to modify to make things more challenging. We're just going to flow through some moon salutations for the new moon today. And our topic is acceptance. We've been studying the principles of mindfulness as taught by John Kabat-Zinn, who's a PhD who brought mindfulness to the Western attention back before it was a hot button topic of interest on Oprah and all of that. And he just really westernized these Eastern Buddhist principles. So we're just bringing those, basically an intro to mindfulness into class. So we're going to get started in just about 20 seconds here. And everything that I lead you through is an invitation. So see if you can move through things the way I lead them. And if not, if that's not working for your body, then just modify accordingly. Do what's right for you. Hello, hello, good morning, good morning. Welcome to class. We're just about to start. In class. So, we're just about to get, here we go. We're getting started right here. We'll start as we always do in a comfortable seated position. You can be in a chair or seated on the ground. Either way, you want your chest over your hips, your head over your heart. Hands come to rest on the lap, either Palms down to ground down, or palms up to give and receive energy. Feel you got a little extra to give today. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. Let's see. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. Or lower to a soft gaze, just ahead of your legs. Not staring at anything, not looking at anything. Just a soft gaze. And we'll start with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. On the inhale, shoulders rise up towards the ears. On the exhale, they drop away. And continue the breath just in and out through the nose if that's available. Returning to your natural, normal pace. We'll take a moment here just to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And become present to yourself here in this space. Beginning to allow sounds into your awareness. Perhaps a pet scratching at its face. Or the sound of traffic outside your window. Allowing all sounds in, all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. The weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan your body from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity, any restlessness or fidgeting. And just taking note to work into those spaces throughout our practice today. And shifting the awareness to your energetic body, pranamaya kosha. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at energy-wise in this moment? 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to go back to bed. 10 being so full of energy, it's hard to sit still. And shifting the awareness up to the breath. Just observing inhalation, exhalation, whatever holding in between. And shift the awareness up to the mind, allowing thoughts and feelings to arise. Without engaging, observe them from a distance, like clouds passing in the sky. Notice the quality of the thoughts today. Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. When we bring that attention back down to the breath. At any point in class you feel your mind wandering off, just reconnect with the breath, your anchor throughout your class, and throughout your life, if you so choose. So here we'll actively expand the breath. Inhaling through the belly, allow the belly to expand, inflating like a balloon. Exhales, drop belly button in towards spine, completely deflating. Inhale, fills belly with air and ribs expand. Exhale, releases ribs, and then belly. Inhale, fills belly. Ribs expand out to the sides and into the chest, air coming all the way up to the collarbones. Exhale, releases chest, ribs, belly. Continuing like this, inhaling belly, chest, head. Exhaling chest, ribs, belly. Your own breath's pace. Dirga Pranayam, 3-part breath. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale lets something more go. Continue this pranayam breathing pattern. Consider today's lesson on acceptance. Each of us has feelings and experiences that are difficult to accept. But when we come to understand that we don't have to be anyone other than who we are, we can learn to accept ourselves. And the more we are with ourselves, the more deeply we can connect with others. Acceptance is learning to embrace unwanted feelings and experiences because they're an unavoidable part of living. The first step is to welcome our own imperfections and recognize our basic goodness. Our imperfections make us who we are. By accepting them, we embrace our full selves. Acceptance allows us to confidently engage with life with an open and generous heart. Your next exhale, release any effort from the breath, returning to a natural pace. Invite your hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Thumbs pressed into the sternum, no space between the fingers. And consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice here today. You can use the intention you've been working with, or choose acceptance as your intention. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. First, a cleansing breath. Allow your hands to release down to your lap, chin drops towards chest. Then inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Left ear rolls to left shoulder. And just allowing the head to roll side to side like this. Eyes can stay closed. Just opening up the space between shoulders and ears, opening the side of the neck. The next time the head rolls over to the right, hold it there, and the breathing continues. Right hand comes to land on top of the head, no pulling, just the weight is enough. Left arm reaches away, and gently fingertips touch down towards the ground, just grazing the ground with your fingertips. Just breathing into this space between ear and shoulder, opening up the trapezius muscle. You can give that head a little nod, yes, to find what spot on that trajectory feels best. And releasing the hand from the head, let the head roll down through center, all the way over to the left side. Left hand comes to land on top of the head. Right arm reaches away and then touches down, just fingertips grazing the ground. Opening the space between ear and shoulder, give the head a little nod, yes, to find where feels best for this next stretch. Breathing fully here, let this left shoulder melt away. And we'll release the hands from the head. Head comes back up through center and begin to roll the shoulders forward. No wrong way of doing this, we're just waking up the shoulders. And roll the shoulders back. And coming to stillness in the shoulders, we'll work on our neck rolls that we've been working on. Tucking the chin in towards the chest, scooping down, forward, up, back, and back down. So now we're really working on smoothing this movement out. Going to the full edges of your mobility, full range of motion. And we'll change directions. Head looking up, reaching forward, scooping down, and back up. And bring the head back to center. Give a look over right shoulder and left shoulder, just releasing Any tension from the neck that might have built up. We'll inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, bend over to the right. Left arm reaches over. Inhale, up through center. And exhale, over to left. So it's flowing like this from side to side. Connecting breath to movement. Speed of your body being informed by the length of your breath. Knee back up in center, arms up overhead. And exhale, twisting to the right. Left hand lands on the knee, right hand lands behind you. Inhale up through center. And exhale over to the left. Not the deepest twist, just the first twists of the day. Inhaling through center. Exhaling to twist, or at least the first twist of this class. One more to each side. Back up through center. Release the arms down. Extend the legs out in front. Spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out the ankles. Change directions. Then we'll bend in the knees and feet come mat's distance apart. As we begin to drop the knees side to side. Just waking up the hips. And next time the knees fall over to the right, we'll come into our tabletop pose, facing this direction. Tuck the toes under, and sit back on the heels. Just adjust this guy up. Yep. So we're sitting back on the heels, stretching out the bottoms of the feet. We'll give the hands a wave. Play piano, waking up the wrists, the hands, warming up all those ligaments. Palms flip open, hands pressing back as far as they can go, tossing pizzas. And we'll shake off water. Beautiful. All right, let's come into tabletop pose. Untuck the toes. Hands below shoulders, knees below hips. And inhale, drop the belly, hips and chest rise, cat pose, or rather cow pose. And exhaling round in spine, chin tucks towards chest, cow, cat pose. Inhaling through cow. Exhaling through cat. For a deeper stretch, as you inhale through cow pose, press your palms into the ground towards your knees and your knees towards your palms for some grip. And exhale, rounding in the spine through cat. Press your hands forward, press your knees back for some resistance to get even deeper into that roundness. Inhaling through cow. Exhaling through cat. Release back to center. Drop down onto the left forearm. Right knee bends, lifts, and begins to draw circles with that knee. So we're really waking up this hip joint. Change directions. Gently release this right knee down to the mat. Press back up onto both hands. Right forearm releases down to the ground. Extend the left knee up and begin to draw circles with this left knee. Change directions. Release this knee down to the mat. Right hand touches under. And we will inhale, the left arm sweeps up and open. Exhale, weave the arm through, reaching through. Inhale, reaches open. Exhale, reaches through. Once more, inhale, up to open. And exhale, through to land. Left ear and left shoulder onto the ground. For our thread the needle pose, we're just here for 2 deep breaths. Pressing the chest open towards the side wall. Pressing into the ground with that bottom arm to get a nice stretch on the shoulder blade. And we return, like pressing rewind, back up and down through center. It's going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. And the right arm sweeps up. Exhale, it weaves through without touching down. Reach, twist. Inhale, rise. Exhale, reach through. And once more. Inhale, rise, reaching the hand towards the ceiling. And exhale, reaching the arm through. Land the side of the head. Shoulder onto the ground. Pressing into the ground to keep the shoulder and chest open towards the side wall. Bottom hand pressing strong into the ground to find a nice stretch on that right shoulder blade. And pressing into the left hand, right arm sweeps open. And release that hand to the ground. Right foot steps up between the fingers. Left foot steps up to meet it. We'll bring the legs nice and wide to the edges of the mat. Give ourselves a little sway side to side, bending one knee and then the other. Just beginning to wake up the backs of the legs. And we'll grab opposite elbows, giving the head a nod yes. Keep the knees nice and bent. Give the head a shake no. Moving in which way would feel good for you for your ragdoll pose. We'll release the arms and slowly roll all the way up through center. Beautiful. And turn to face one another. If you need a sip of water, take a sip of tea. Just taking a moment here. We come to the standing portion of our class. All right. We're going to come to meet back on the mat. Meeting at center. Hands come to the hips, and the right knee opens out to the side. That foot drags into the ankle, can be light on the toes, great place to be. Or maybe the foot drags up to the calf, or even the inner thigh. If you like that half lotus version that we did the other day, with the inside of the foot hooked in, that's available too, whatever your favorite version of tree pose is. Glutes are squeezing tight, they're pressing forward, the right knee is pressing back and out. Lengthen the spine as you press down through the heel. You're pressing up through the crown of the head. So we're going in opposite directions, but everything's squeezing in towards center. So when it comes to acceptance, we can accept reality and accept people for what they are without approving. So there's a difference between approval and acceptance. If we can accept where we are in our journey of learning this pose, tree pose, right? It doesn't mean that we're complacent and we don't want to go further and this, that, and the other, and we're not doing our best to improve or whatever that might be. It just means that we're accepting of where we are now. And there's no way to really transform or evolve past where you are in the moment without accepting it, without falling into deeper pits of delusion and despair later on anyway. All right, let's let this leg gently come down. Nice. Left knee opens out to the side. We drag that foot into the ankle. You can stay here. You can even have your toe on the ground for some more stability. Maybe you come onto the tiptoe and start pressing the heel into the right calf. Foot can come onto the calf proper. The arch of the foot fits nicely around that gastrocnemius, that calf muscle, avoiding the knee. You might also bring the heel up towards the inner thigh. Hips are pressing forward, knees pressing open and out. And we're just breathing fully here, Vrikshasana, tree pose. Crown of the head reaching towards the sky. We're letting the foot do whatever adjustments it needs necessary. And if you fall out of the pose, I do it all the time, we just reset, we begin again. Just accept that today might be a day that you are in the practice of getting back into the pose, of beginning again. As often is the case in the rest of our lives, that we have to start tasks or projects again. So this is a pretty safe space to practice that skill of accepting. Round 1, round 13 didn't go the way we thought it would. Let's head on to round 2 and round 14, right? So acceptance is all about clarity, about reality. It's not about giving up or surrendering. Well, in a way it's about surrendering to reality. But like I said, it's not about approval. You can accept a person without approving of their actions or their beliefs. We got one more deep breath here. We'll slowly release. Nice. Roll out this ankle, roll out this ankle. This feels good, just like rolling over the foot. And we'll find the big toes to touch. A little space between the heels so that the ankles don't clash together. And arms sweep up overhead on the inhale. Fingers interlace, index fingers release for steeple pose. Arms are strong, biceps by the ears, straight as they can be, if that's available to you. Shoulders pulled away from the ears. And we're long in the lower back, so instead of arching the butt out like a Donald Duck butt, we're just going to elongate. So we'll tuck in the hips. We've kind of been practicing this, engaging the lower abdominal muscles. Long line in the spine instead of that exaggerated S. Deep breath in. And exhale, bend over to the right. Hips press out to the left to counterbalance, making a crescent moon shape in the body. So we're about to roll through our moon salutations here. Chandra Namaskar. We've been doing sun salutations, Surya Namaskar, all month. So shaking it up a bit. Inhale back up through center. And exhale over to the left. Hips press out to the right to counterbalance. Just notice this bottom shoulder is going to have a tendency to pull back. Instead, press it forward, keeping the chest open, the whole front side body open to that side wall on the long edge of the mat side. Full breathing here into the rib cage, expanding those intercostal muscles, the space between the ribs, pressing into that hip. And back up through center. We'll take a step out to the right, and a step out to the left. Arms come down parallel to the ground. Thumbs up towards the sky. Heels come in, toes go out. Star pose. So now this is a pull in 5 directions. I'm pressing through the right foot, pressing through the left foot, reaching through the fingertips, and crown of the head is reaching towards the sky. This is the perfect example of you can be in the shape of the pose or you can be in the practice of the pose. So getting to this shape is quite easy, but activating all of the muscles through there, like radiating outwards, reaching, takes a lot of effort. Deep breath in here. And exhale, bend in the knees, bend in the elbows. Devyasana, goddess pose. Sorry, okay. I don't know how to make that literally not ring. My bad. All right, so where were we? Star pose, goddess pose. Got it. So we're trying to get a 90-degree angle with the knees and the elbows. I'm squeezing the glutes to keep my knees tracking over the ankles without having them fall inwards, which takes effort and some time to kind of get used to. The arms, they start to get heavy real quick, so I squeeze my shoulder blades together like I'm holding a pencil between the shoulder blades, keeping the chest open, the shoulders engaged. Full breath here. And then we bring it back up through star, just passing through. Right foot faces the short side of the mat, left foot faces long side of the mat. And then we're coming into triangle pose. So I'm reaching my arms forward, my hips are tilting like teapot hips. And then the right hand releases down, left arm comes up for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Pressing the bottom hand into the leg, leverages the left shoulder up towards the sky, like you're between 2 panes of glass. Deep breath in here. And on the exhale, bend in the knee, hands come down to frame that foot, pivoting onto the back foot for a low lunge, like a runner's lunge. My knee's still off the ground. Then walk the hands into the inside, turning the right foot and knee towards the long side of the mat. So I'm going to deep side squat here. You can drop the heel down. If you have that space to drop the heel down, you can turn onto the heel side edge of this right foot. Skandasana. Maybe hugging the knee in, keeping the hands on the ground. If your heel does not reach the ground, you can be on tiptoe. So it's like our toe stretch from before. Toes tucked under, I'm sitting on my heel. My knee is lifted off the ground. My foot can be up or down, whichever works for you. And then here you can play with a little balance. Maybe bringing hands onto the knee, maybe to heart center. Skandasana, deep side squat. We're bringing it through center, bring this foot in, and then like a frog on a lily pad, Malasana, deep squat. So I'm working towards getting my heels to touch down to the ground. And then I'm going to sit up nice and tall. So heart over hips. Tendency is to, once you do get your heels down, is to be rounded over. And instead, we actually want to be seated up, nice and tall. We leverage that by pressing the elbows into the inside of the knees, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. The feet can be out at like 45-degree angle. So that tension between elbow and knee is going to help hold you in this posture, still full breathing. If your heels don't make it to the ground, you can always roll up a towel and place it underneath the heels. If you're super close, just take another breath here. And the hands release to frame the left foot. Extending the right foot back, low lunge. Hands come to the inside of this right foot. So now we're facing the back of the mat. Drop the left heel down to the ground and sweep the right arm open. So I'm in an extended side angle right now. I'm going to power press through the front leg to come into Trikonasana triangle on the other side. Stacking right shoulder over left shoulder, bottom hand pressing into the leg so hard that the chest stays open. Squeezing through this thigh muscle to protect the knee. Trikonasana triangle pose for one more deep breath. And bend in the right knee, warrior two. Extend that leg straight. Bring the left toes out, bend elbows, bend knees, goddess pose. Devyasana. Full breath here. Full star pose. Reach it out. And then we step it all in towards center. Arms release down. All right, take a full breath here. Okay, so that was one round of moon salutations. So you see, it's a cycle. Nice mirror from side to side, just like the lunar phases. Beautiful. So let's get started on the other side to even everything out. Big toes come to touch, heels slightly apart so that the ankles don't knock together, arms sweep open, up and overhead, fingers interlace, and then just change the interlace. So however you just naturally grabbed, see this right finger's on top, bring the left finger on top. So opposite grip. Index finger releases. Shoulders pull back, biceps behind the ears. Lengthen the lower back, creating a nice long line of energy. Deep breath in. And we'll press over to the left on the exhale. Bottom shoulder pressing through, keeping the chest open. So there's a lot of effort in this seemingly easy pose, and this is one of those opportunities for acceptance. Accept that this is difficult, that this is challenging, and breathe through it, stretch through it, be in it. Back up through center, and exhale over to the right, making sure the right shoulder is still pressing through, chest open. Arms are strong, biceps behind the ears. Breathing into all the side ribs. The space in between the intercostal muscles. Arms stay strong, legs stay strong. Another full breath. Bring it back up through center. Arms come down parallel to the ground. Take a step out with the right and the left foot. Heels come in, toes come out. The thumbs turn to face the sky for a star pose. Reaching, deep breath in. Exhale, goddess pose. Bend in the elbows, bend in the knees. Shoulder blades squeezing together. Glutes squeezing, knees stay tracking over the ankles. Deep breath here. Maybe exhale deepens your squat even more. Then extend back through star, just transitioning. The right toes turn to face the long side of the mat, left toes facing the short side of the mat. Reach the arms forward, letting the hips tilt, teapot hips tilt. Left high arm releases down, right arm towards the sky, Trikonasana triangle pose. Squeezing through this leg muscle to protect the knee, bottom hand pressing into bottom leg, using that as leverage to keep the right shoulder open. Full breath here. The head can look down towards the bottom hand or up towards the top hand for a challenge. Bend in the left knee. Hands come to frame that foot. Blow in a runner's lunge. And then walk the hands forward. Turn the left foot and knee towards the long side of the mat. If the heel touches the ground, maybe turning onto the right heel with the toes towards the sky for a deep squat on this side. Or you can play with the balance, staying up on with the toes tucked under, keeping the knee levitating up. You can play with your balance here. Maybe hands coming onto the thigh. That's a deep stretch in the foot as well. Just listening to your knees and what is best for them. So we always want to challenge the muscle, more so than put pressure on the joint. When we're bringing it through center, bring that other foot in like a frog on a lily pad. We make it to our Malasana deep squat. Elbows press into the knees, hands come together for leverage. Give it a little rock side to side. Chest finds its way over hips. Deep breath in. And exhale, you can look over the right shoulder. Inhale through center. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale, center. And then hands come to frame the right foot. Left leg gets sent back behind you for a runner's lunge. Hands come to the inside of the right foot and drop the left heel down to the ground so toes are facing the long side of your mat. Left arm sweeps open, extended side angle. Pressing into the pinky side edge of your back foot, power press into the front leg to straighten it out, coming into triangle pose. Bottom hand pressing into the calf for that lift. And head can turn to face top hand or bottom hand for a neck stretch. Trikonasana triangle pose. Bend in the right knee, warrior two. Extend this leg straight, heels come in, toes come out. Thumbs turn towards the sky, deep breath in, star. Exhale, goddess pose. Full breath here, fully engaged. Back to star, reaching. And then hands and feet step together. And arms release down. Nice. And here we'll just give it a shake out, or lymphatic shake. Bring a shake into the hands. Bounce into the body. Just allowing the body to move freely and bringing some movement and shake, letting it all go. You can take up the whole surface area of the mat, or stay in one place and just let the heels smack down into the ground. And from here we'll go into our breath of joy, 4-part breath. 3 inhales, 3 sips of air in to equal 1 big inhale, and 1 big ha out through the mouth as our exhale. And the movements that go along with this are sip of air in, sip of air in, sip of air in, and exhaling ha through the center. Just like chair pose, arms sweep up and back. So in, ha, in, ha, 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 ha. 3 more. Ha, ha, ha. Just taking a moment here. Hand on the heart, hand on the belly, eyes can close. And just taking a moment here, basically you just took the snow globe that is your body, that is your life, and just shook it up. Just let all that glitter dust begin to settle. And see what's uncovered, what's shown up for you. Whenever changes in body temperature, the relationship of the temperature of the room to your skin might have shifted. The pace or depth of your breath might have shifted. And gently blinking the eyes open, come back to me. Hello, hello. Might take a sip of water. Bring my mat closer to you guys. You can take a sip of water or tea. We're going to make our way back down to the mat. Right away to the back of the mat. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, we forward fold, soften the knees to protect the lower back. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands on shins. And exhale, bend it all the way down. Just coming into that crouched position. All pulled in towards center. And then we're coming down to seated. Beautiful. Okay. So, I'm going to do this here. Cool. So we'll come on to kneeling. Just like we were before, with the toes tucked under. I know we're doing a lot with our feet today, but it's really good. And we won't be seated on them for too long. So we're actually just coming straight up to kneeling. Just can't get the Not like a cameraman type person. All right, here we go. Better? Better. Okay. So the toes can stay tucked under here, or you can place blocks by your ankles. Hands come to the lower back. Rather, let's do this instead. The right hand can come down onto this block, this heel, whatever version you're at. So now I'm like in a side back bend. We're just using this right arm to make big circles. So it's the half camel pose. Ardha Ustrasana. There we go. I'm just doing like 3 big circles here. Then I'm going to touch this left hand down. Or you can come back up through center. Then the left hand comes down onto heel or block. I'm keeping my hips pressed forward as I draw these big circles with the right arm. I'm just going to do one more on this side. Nice. Bring it back up to the center. So the hands go onto the lower back, extending. So it's a slight tuck of the hips, right? We're elongating the spine. Deep breath in to get tall. And exhale, pressing the hips forward. Hands reach back for the heels or those blocks. They can stay on the lower back if you're feeling any pinching or pressure. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips, and maybe it feels okay on your neck to look back. Full camel pose, Ustrasana. And here we're breathing. Careful not to sink into the shoulders. We're still staying lifted up and away. We've got one more deep breath here. And coming back up through center. I'm going to sit the hips back down. And bring the legs out in front. Hands come onto the knees. I'm just taking a moment here to circle in the spine, kind of releasing any tension that might have been brought up in the lower back. And just noticing, right, we're talking about acceptance, what showed up for you in that pose. So that's a pretty deep back bend, probably the deepest back bend that we've done in class, and at least today for sure, but probably since lessons began about a month ago. When we're in back bends, it's like a pretty vulnerable position. You might feel a shortness of breath or an increase in your heart rate. So you just want to notice that. Changing directions can be a really vulnerable pose. Like think about animals when they're protecting themselves, they cover their bellies. So here we are exposing belly and chest and hips and all of that in these postures. So emotionally, some sort of like danger mechanism or survival mechanism might show up for you, and that's completely normal. All right. Nice. Okay. So from here, we're going to lay back. I'm just going to do it from the side actually. Come back to reclining, giving the knees a hug in. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Lucy. Tails in my face. And then drop the feet down to the ground. Hey, can you sit on this side? Yeah, that kind of works. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So I'm pressing the knee away. And then using just core strength, the left thigh presses in towards the body. I'm going to reach my hands through, and this hand through that little triangle donut hole. Grab behind the left thigh, let this leg relax, and pull the thigh in towards the body. The right elbow is pressing against my right knee to leverage it open and keep my right foot flexed. So every exhale, pulls the thigh in towards the body. Eyes can close if that's comfortable for you. For reclining pigeon pose. Let the shoulders relax away. Any effort in the arms is in the biceps, not in the shoulders. And gently release this left foot down to the ground. Release the right foot down to the ground. And the left ankle crosses over the right thigh. Knee presses away. Using just core strength, the right leg pulls in towards the body. Then the hands reach through. Right hand around the outside, left hand through that center triangle. Grab behind the right knee. Let that foot relax. Using the left elbow, press the left knee away. So right thigh is pulling in towards the body. Left knee is pressing away from the body, giving a nice hip stretch. Shoulders softened away from the ears. And we'll gently release the right foot to the ground, left foot to the ground. And drop the knees side to side, just releasing the hips. Bring it back up through center. Heels in towards the glutes, fingers grazing the heels. We'll press the hips up towards the sky for our Setu Bandhasana bridge pose. So the spine is peeling away from the ground. Hips are rising, ribs and chest. Shoulders tuck under, maybe even interlacing the hands to really press the triceps into the ground. Squeezing the glutes, lifting the hips. Full breathing here. Breathing into the belly so deep that you can see your belly rise and fall down past the bridge of your nose. We got one more deep breath here. Really press to the edges to your fullest expression of the pose. Then gently unlace the hands, untuck the shoulders, roll down one vertebra at a time, starting from shoulders, middle back, lower back. Let your feet come out the mat's distance and knock the knees together. Just let the knees fall together, broken bridge. Taking a moment here to settle. And the knees come in towards the body. We'll drop them over to the right. Left arm opens up like the letter T, palm face open towards the sky, and pressing the left shoulder down towards the ground. The gaze can look over the left fingertips for a complete spinal twist. So my whole body is relaxed. It doesn't matter if the knees touch the ground or each other. I'm just letting gravity do its work. The only effort I'm putting in is making sure that the left shoulder is pressed into the ground. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center. And we'll drop the knees over to the left hand onto the right knee. Right arm opens up like the letter T, and the head looks over the right hand to complete that spinal twist. Supta Matsyendrasana, supine spinal twist. Whole body's relaxed, no effort in it except the right shoulders pressing down towards the ground. Bring the head back up through center, Knees back up through center. Give yourself a little rock side to side. And notice, is there any last movement or wiggle or pose that calls out for you? And allow yourself to move through that now. It doesn't have to have a fancy yoga name. You can really be whatever is going to allow you to feel like you had a well-rounded class. Any part of the body that maybe called out for your attention during our grounding meditation that wasn't addressed, now's a great time to press into something to help that. And otherwise, setting up for Savasana in general, we might grab a blanket or put on socks, as body temperature does lower during this final relaxation, this final meditation and posture, and finding your way into your Shavasana final relaxation pose. I'm just gonna put my singing bowls. I'm going to come up to seated so that I can play some singing bowls for you, but you can stay reclining, facing the ceiling, flat on your back. If flat on your back brings pain to your lower back, you can bend the knees, keeping a rolled towel or a blanket below your knees to alleviate any lower back pain. Feet come to land at least a foot apart from one another, legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. Hands come to rest at least 6 inches from the body, palms face open, a symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the full benefits of your effort here today. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. Not a soft gaze up towards the ceiling. Not looking or staring or glaring at anything, just allowing them to rest as well. When we begin this meditation, same way we started the last, with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Allowing the breath to continue just in and out through the nose if that's available for you. And invite your exhalations to become longer and deeper than your inhalations. Invite space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy, tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. And all the muscles surrounding the mouth and lips relax. Muscles surrounding the nose and nostrils relax. And eyes rest heavy in their sockets. Eyelids just barely touching. And the space between the eyebrows broadens as all the muscles in the forehead relax. All the muscles in the face and head relax. And the neck and throat release. Shoulders melt away. Upper arms and elbows rest. Forearms and wrists relax. And backs of the hands, palms, knuckles, fingers, whole hands alive with vibration, alive with creative potential. Rest and integrate your efforts of your practice. Upper back, middle and lower back, relax. Chest naturally rises and falls. Belly naturally rises and falls. With the breath. Hips, glutes, pelvis, all rest heavy. Thighs and knees relax. Lower legs and ankles release. Tops of the feet, arches, toe ball mounds, heels, and all of the toes rest. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Each of us has feelings and experiences that are difficult to accept. But when we come to understand that we don't have to be anyone other than who we are, we can learn to accept ourselves. And the more okay we are with ourselves, the more deeply we can connect with others. Acceptance is learning to embrace unwanted feelings and experiences because they're an unavoidable part of living. The first step is to welcome our own imperfections and recognize our basic goodness. Our imperfections make us who we are. By accepting them, we embrace our full selves. Acceptance allows us to confidently engage with life with an open and generous heart. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. Know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more, nothing less. And gently invite your inhalations to become longer and deeper than your exhalations. Bringing some movement back into the body by wiggling fingers and toes. Head can look side to side. And the arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Knees bend in towards the body. And roll over to whichever side feels natural, landing in a fetal position. Fully released and fully supported by this earth below you. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class today. And if that intention serves you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed, using as little effort as possible, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together, Anjali Mudra. Today we focused on the third principle of mindfulness, acceptance. And physically we rolled through Chandra Namaskar, moon salutations, in honor of today's new moon, first new moon of 2021. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to one another. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me in class today. I hope you found something that serves you. I hope you do make time to prioritize some self-care today for your own personal new moon ritual. So we're not getting together in big groups to celebrate the new moon as we have in the past. So I think some people are, but not in this household. So if you're home alone for this new moon, know that you're not alone. And that really, as we keep working on ourselves, you'll come to learn that the best company is yourself. So fully embrace that today. And let me know how it goes. Much love from me to you. Namaste. Have a great Tuesday. And I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.